Welcome to Module 7. This is where we're going to explore some of the future implications of artificial intelligence. Now, throughout this course, we've examined AI's current capabilities and some of its impacts, but now we're going to look ahead to understand how these technologies might evolve and shape our world in the coming years. First, let's examine how the field is working to try and ensure that AI systems are safe and aligned with human values. AI safety is all about making sure AI systems act in ways that are beneficial and aligned with human values. This includes rigorous testing, transparency in decision-making, and ongoing human oversight. But there's still much that has to be done. AI models are effectively black boxes that we do not fully understand what's going on inside. Now, this is not only a concern at this stage, but alignment with human values will be even more important if AI develops to generalized or superintelligence. Now, there's a lot more to explore in this area. I encourage you to continue to read about AI safety and alignment. It's certainly changing rapidly. Just over the last several months, some great studies have come out from Google and Anthropic where they've been able to do more to understand some of what goes on inside their models, but they haven't been able to crack the code yet. They don't know all of what happens. And without that level of transparency, it's really unclear what that safety mechanism is going to be going forward. So this is an important area of concern and certainly something the researchers are spending a lot of time on. Now, AI is already delivering some very significant positive impacts across multiple areas. In healthcare, for instance, AI assists in early disease detection, accurate diagnoses, and personalized treatment plans. And that's not even to say of the research that's being done with things like Google's AlphaFold or their work with gene therapies. There's a lot of work that's being done in primary research as well that's driven by AI. Now, in education, AI powers some very adaptive and powerful learning platforms and virtual simulations. Then when you think about working across industries, AI is boosting productivity by automating routine tasks, making a lot of work faster. Data-driven decisions are easier to be able to come by. And some AI leaders have suggested that given the use of AI tools, researchers in any of these fields will be able to do 10x their work, meaning that perhaps in the next 10 years of research, some have said that researchers in the biomedical field could produce what would have taken a century of work to do. So if you just think about the last century's worth of research, imagine if that was all done by 1935, if they had then what we were developing just now. That kind of 10xing or rapid expansion of research capabilities is something that could lead to really wonderful positive impacts. Now, even if this is an overly optimistic prediction, it does appear likely that AI tools are making researchers more productive and more effective. And it's a matter of finding ways to be able to fine-tune that work and do it in an ethical and responsible way. Now, the economic potential for AI development and expansion is enormous. Generative AI could add, according to McKinsey, between $2.6 trillion and $4.4 trillion annually to the global economy. And this impact is spread across sectors like banking, retail, high-tech, life sciences, and it drives productivity and creates entirely new markets and business models. There could be tremendous growth, so much so that some are even looking into how that wealth could be distributed across society, which might be necessary given the next topic. Workforce transformation. AI is already starting to transform the workforce in complex ways. Now, while AI automates many routine tasks, especially in manufacturing and customer service, it's also creating new roles in AI development and oversight. The World Economic Forum estimates that by 2027, 69 million new jobs will be created, but then they also expect that about 83 million will be eliminated because of AI, mostly through redundancies. The more extreme predictions suggest that once really advanced models are developed even further down the road, and if they reach artificial superintelligence, most jobs could be performed by AI, according to some of those theorists. Now, again, this is still quite a ways off and it is speculative. But given the possibility that there are scholars starting to look into future job projections and methods for sharing wealth, such as UBI or universal basic income, these are important topics for us to be aware of because they get driven by policy discussions. And that's something that we all need to be involved in. Now, while there are a number of benefits brought by AI, AI also brings significant risks that we must address. There's bias in data and algorithms that can lead to unfair outcomes in areas like hiring or healthcare, as we've talked about in earlier modules. There's also AI-generated misinformation that can include deepfakes and can manipulate public opinion, another topic that we've talked a bit about before in an earlier module. There's also growing concern about the concentration of power among a few large tech companies. I'm not overly concerned with some of the projections at this time, but it is worth learning about. The fictionalized story AI 2027, I've included that in the Canvas optional readings. This was written by several researchers, including one who left OpenAI over safety concerns. This story looks at the worst case scenario of what could happen, and it sounds like science fiction. Now, while others in the AI community acknowledge there are safety concerns with advanced AI, many would say that a story like this tends to assume the worst while not including what could be done to correct for future mistakes. In any case, this is part of the discussion that is ongoing in the AI community, and we should all be aware of the concerns that researchers have, even those that are the least likely. It might be the worst case scenario, but it is a scenario that some researchers say is possible. And that's why we should be aware so we can address some of those concerns well before we go down that road. Now, looking at current research, several important trends are emerging that will shape AI's future development. These include advances in AI interpretability. This makes systems more transparent, improved alignment research to ensure that AI systems act according to human values, and more efficient training models that could require less computational power. These can help address environmental concerns, for instance, and can also lead to better regulated AI systems. So there are emerging research trends that will move the needle in the right direction, but this is also something that gets included with some of the concerns. So let's talk about preparing for an AI future on an individual level. How can we prepare for this? Well, first, by developing AI literacy, the ability to understand AI's capabilities and limitations, which is exactly what we're doing in this class. Secondly, by focusing on distinctly human skills that complement rather than compete with AI. We're going to talk a bit more about that in the next course module to conclude the course and thinking about what this means for all of us as you consider careers and other opportunities in the future. Now, third, by participating in discussions about how AI should be governed and regulated. The decisions we make today as individuals, organizations, and societies will shape how these technologies develop. We need multi-stakeholder collaboration to ensure that AI serves the greater good. Be aware and stay informed. And let your representatives know about your concerns. More politicians are speaking out about AI now, both in terms of benefits and concerns. And this can continue to be important policy discussion. I anticipate that in the upcoming elections in 2026, 2028, you're going to hear a lot more about AI and the role that AI should play in our society and what we should be doing as a society to be able to address many of the concerns that we have. We all need to be informed and stay involved in those discussions. As we conclude this module, remember, the future of AI is not predetermined. It'll be shaped by the choices that we make today. By staying informed, developing AI literacy, and participating in discussions about AI's role in society, we can help ensure that AI serves humanity's best interests. Your understanding of these technologies will be crucial in navigating the road ahead.